Okay. So, Reagan, we have you here today. We have you in quarterly,
Yes.
which I think is actually really good for our team because we're always bringing in new people. And even the people who are seasoned and who have been on our team for a while, there's so many resources, benefits, so many things that Real provides to their agents that I don't know that everyone knows about or is really tapping into. So that's why we bring you in quarterly to kind of review what are the benefits of Real. Rev share, how does that work? Okay, what's the fee breakdown?
Yeah.
Commissions. I mean, I think at this point everyone pretty much knows how commissions are. So if anyone has a question, I'll let them ask you directly at the end or something. But I am excited to have you back today. Any updates that maybe Real has rolled out? I know there were some updates last time that were important for people to know. So we're excited to have you back. This is being recorded so people can look back on it if they missed today's training. Anything upcoming that you think we should know about? And yeah, we're just excited to have you back.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. And let me, hold on. I got to get out of my screen here because I cannot see you now. And that drives me crazy. Hold on. Just give me 1 second. I'm smarter than this. Okay, there we go. Okay. Hello, everyone. Yeah. So what I thought I would do today, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Reagan Nicholson. I'm the California growth leader with Real. And what that means to you guys is I'm here to help grow the agent population in California, and I can assist you in your attraction efforts. Anything that you need, I can help you, have a conversation. I can help you get the resources together to have that conversation, get some collateral out to that person. So if you need any assistance in the attraction arena in California, especially, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm here to help. I've helped several of you guys on the call today, with some things. I've helped Gary, and that's here on your behalf. So there's no strangeness. This is what I do for the company. I'm not an employee, but that is part of my agreement with the company for what I do. So I'm here to help you any way I can. So what I thought I would do today, and we can kind of pivot this as we need it and what we think we need. There are a couple of changes that I do want to address since we have reached the 11,000 agent count nationwide. First of all, before we jump into that, I want to say that if you don't know, California is now over 2,000 agents, and we're probably pushing closer to 2,200 right now. So we are rapidly growing. We just had a huge big team in Orange County join us, the Agent Inc. And guys, this is just so exciting when we get big players like yourselves and other head turners in the industry. It makes our job to attract so much easier because people they quit questioning and they just start going, I got to know what's going on. So there is no time like the present time. If you're looking to attract, whether it's to the team or to your downline or whatever, or maybe it's both. There's no time like right now. I mean, California is on fire. The momentum is there like it's never been. So, when I started with Real a little over 2 years ago, we had this is crazy to think, we had 150 agents. It's kind of cool. So we've had some rapid growth, and a lot of that's come in recent times. So anyway, just to kind of get us excited about California, I am just thrilled. So anyway, if attraction's your jam, that it's a good time. So since we've reached 11,000 agents company-wide, from 11,000 to 12,000, and I don't know exactly where we are in this, but I know we're not over the 12. The capping shares have changed. So if you are a 12K capper, the amount of capping shares has moved to 150. And then if you're a 6K capper, it's moved to 75. And if you're a 4K, then it's half of that. So I think we're at I think it's like 36. It's some kind of strange number. So it's like 36 or so on the attraction shares or capping shares. On the attraction shares, if you're a 12K capper, it's gone to 75. And if you're a 6K capper, it's gone to 35. And I believe on the 4K, because they don't publish this, it's down to half of that. So I think it's like 17 or 18 shares for attracting. And it's important to remember when attracting, when someone joins and you sponsor them, until you won't see those attraction shares immediately. Those come when they do their first transaction that creates a GCI of $2,500. So that's cumulative. So if it takes a couple of deals, then it'll hit. In our area, usually it's a deal and then it initiates. So then you'll see it go into your stock account and then it starts going into its vesting period. So anything that you're gifted, capping, or attraction has a 3-year vest. So that means you're going to see it, but you can't really do anything with it for 3 years. So it's just kind of like the trade-off. You're going to see it sitting there. It's going to grow in value as the company, as the stock value increases, but you can't do anything. You can't exercise anything with it until that 3-year vest. So any questions around the changes? No questions? Come on, we're gonna be a silent group today? Is that how this is gonna roll?
Is this all, so where can people see their shares? That's not is that in resin? Was that Tipalti? I know that changed recently.
Okay,
But
so you see your shares. Now that's a great question, Ashley. I don't know if we can see them. I don't know if we can see them in the app yet, but you can see them on your I always get this backed up. Morgan Stanley, right? It's Morgan first, right? Is that right, Ashley?
I think so.
I knew Gary would know. Yes, it's the Morgan Stanley account. I don't know. I just start guessing at it and it pops up on my screen. So it's your Morgan Stanley account, which you will need to have activated, but you will not activate it until you get your first stock reward or stock purchase, right? So that initiates that, but you can look on that. It'll show you what's vested, what's vesting, the dates. You'll see values. You'll see what it was purchased at, what it's grown to. So that's where you'll see all of that, Ashley. I think they're working on getting some of that into the app so you can access it, but right now I don't believe it's in the app. But you can get it through the deal. And the number one question we get asked on that, just when you join, you don't automatically get your account set up, your stock account. That will come when you get your first stock reward. And that could be a stock purchase, like you have a closing and you opt into the stock, the 5 for 10 or the 10 for 30. So then when there's stock being issued to you, that's when it'll initiate you to set it up. Any questions on that? That was a good question, Ashley.
While we're kind of on the topic, and if I'm jumping ahead and you had this planned, we can wait, but Tipalti was changed as well, right? I think that was more so for direct deposit. So I don't know how relevant that is.
Yeah, so I believe the Tipalti change, you should have seen that in your app. I noticed this, and this is pretty recent, like in the last week or so, when you pull up your app, it asks for a new routing number for your account, your tax identification, or you have an EIN or your social. All that information needed to be put in. It wouldn't even let you move into the app.
Yeah.
So did all of y'all see that pop up and you had to put that new information in?
If not, you guys should go into your resin today.
Yeah. Yeah, if
the
you
app
have it
or the
in your
website,
app,
you should go in as soon as you can.
Yeah, Ashley, did you see that? Am I describing that correctly for you?
Yeah.
As you saw it?
Yeah, I saw it in my account. It would not let me do anything until I input my new information. And it was for, you just put in your bank information for direct deposit, wherever you want your checks to go.
And it asks you the question, do you want it just for rev share or do you want it for all payments? So you get the option, like I think you could have put in multiple accounts if you needed to. Like for me, I did all of mine into my business account and I know it's connected because our rev share just hit like today or last night overnight because of the holiday or because of the weekend on the 15th. So just be aware of that and be sure and put that tax ID information and all that. It, like Ashley said, it's not going to let you move forward in the app without it. Okay. So I wanted to keep this a little loose today in that. So Ashley, if you have anything, please, I love the back and forth. That really helps queue up the questions. Guys, do y'all have any questions, needs, something that y'all have been needing, you need to know? I mean, let's utilize this time that way. Because if you need to know, someone else needs to know.
I have a question about the rev share.
Sure.
I know that it's 3 years for you're fully vested, or is that just the contribution that the company gives us, correct? Like the stock that we have in there, we can sell at any time. Is that correct?
Okay, so Deanne, okay, so just so I have clarity, is this about rev share or for stock?
So yeah, both.
Okay,
Yeah, I
so
just don't understand it.
okay,
what is
so
the 3 year
rev share.
Okay.
So with rev share, that you're getting that on a monthly basis based on who's in your downline and who you've sponsored. And as they close deals and your tiers are open, or like your tiers 1 through 5, but your 10th person on your top tier opens 2, 15 opens 3, 20 opens 4, and 25 people on your top tier open all your tiers. Then you'll get paid accordingly. That's rev share. That closes on the 15th of every month, and then you get paid. Usually it hits your bank account on the 16th or 17th. So that's rev share. That's totally different. There's no stock involved in that.
Okay.
Okay,
Gotcha.
so what's your stock question?
So the 3 years of vesting is with the stock that you guys are contributing to us at the 5% or whatever that is.
Okay, so 2 different things on that.
Okay.
On stock, like capping or attraction stock that's gifted to you. So think about that. If it's a gift from the company, and I always like to use the word gift, that's a 3-year vest. You'll see it come into your account, but you won't be able to, and it'll feel like it's live and it's there and it'll show you where it is in the vesting, but you really can't do anything with that. You have to stay with Real. You have to stay in good standing with Real. And then at the end of that 3-year period, once it vests, then you're free to do whatever you want with it. You can keep it, you can sell it, you can do whatever you want. Now, what we call the stock purchase plans, the 5 for 10, and that's before you cap, or the 10 for 30. Those are bonuses. So if you take, and guys, for you, those of you who don't know, before you cap, you have the option at a closing to take 5% of your overall commission and buy company stock. Whatever that equates to, the company will match that 10%. Think about this.
It's not 15%? I thought it was 15.
Oh, sorry, 15. Yes,
15.
thank you.
Okay,
Gary.
good.
Thank you. 5 for 15. So we're at 15%. So we match the 15%. All of that stock has a 1-year hold, not a vest, a hold. So think about this. At any time, you have access to the 5% that you purchased. That's yours from day one. But if you exercise, let's say you sell that 5% before that 1-year hold, you forfeit the 15% bonus. So let's just pretend this. You bought the 5, you were bonused the 15. That sits for 1-year hold. At the end of that 1 year, all of it's free for you to do whatever you want with it. That's open. That's good to go. So you see the difference of the hold on the bonus piece and the 3-year vest on the gifting, the capping, the attraction shares.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Yes. Thank you.
Cool. All right, Deanna, did that give you clarity?
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Cool.
So so once I'm in the company for 1 year, or as soon as I contributed to it, it's 1 year from that date.
It's 1 year from when you purchase when you have the closing and you exercise 5% of your commission.
Okay.
And then let's say you
Gotcha.
do that in January and then you don't have another closing until, say, March. Those 2 are different, right? The January one has started to work its 1-year hold. Then you got the March one and it's going to start working its 1-year hold. Then you might have one in July, and then so they're all going to be kind of like rolling.
Gotcha. Thank you.
1 year at a time. Okay. Any questions around that have come up since we discussed that?
Looks like Wendy's got
Whoops.
one.
Yeah, hey, Wendy.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, Wendy, I can hear
Okay,
you. How are
great.
you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
So, is January the only sign-up time period that people can
No,
activate that?
you can opt in at any time. So if you're not opted in, you can opt in. Now, here's the thing. Right now, they're asking for a one time a year opt out. So let's say, Wendy, if you decide, hey, I want to do this, I heard Reagan talk about it, I'm going to do it. So you send support, hey, I'm opting in, you opt in, and at your very next closing is it's going to be good to go. Now, let's just say 2 months from now, you say, you know what, I got to get out. I just don't feel comfortable, whatever. They'll let you opt out, but then you're out for a year.
For a year, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So if you opt in, now here's the goal, Wendy. This is what I've been told. At some point, Pratesh would like to have on the app an on-off button. So let's just say you're feeling really good. You've had a lot of closings and you don't need the money and you just really want to invest it. You leave it turned on. And then maybe you hit a period, you're like, you know what? I need that full commission. You could turn it off before that closing and then it would roll. We're just not quite there yet. So
Okay,
yeah,
that's
but
good.
I think that's still the goal.
All right.
Something I wanted to add to that really quick. So right now you would email support@therealbrokerage.com if you wanted to opt in or out. But something that the TC shared with me is that if you want to opt out, it's going to take them a while to process that in their system. Like it could take up to a month. So if you want to opt out, it would be in your best interest to do that as soon as possible. That way it can reflect as soon as possible on your account.
Absolutely. Great add-on, Ashley. Yeah. Don't wait till the day before the close. I can almost guarantee you that's not going to happen. It could take a few weeks to a month and, just give yourself time because they're just not really set up for the in and out. That's why I know Pratesh would love to have a button. And then that way it's instantaneous, with your closing. But for right now, Ashley is correct. Give it a month.
One thing I wanted to add too is, or correct me if I'm wrong, if you're opting in, it's $175 to opt in now, correct?
Okay. No, okay. So the opt-in on the 175, Gary, is for rev share.
Oh, it's not for having part of your commission, the 5%. Oh,
No. The 175 is to participate in the rev share. Because you have the option. If you don't want to participate in rev share, you cannot pay you don't pay the 175 and then you don't get any rev share.
okay. Got it. Okay.
Okay. So, and I'm not really sure that's a newer piece, we discussed that back at the first of the year when they implemented some different fee structures. I'm not sure exactly, like I didn't have to opt into that. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know if they just started taking that. But we could get clarity on that because that's a great question, Gary. But I know it's around rev share because if you want to participate in the rev share model, then it's the 175 one time a year fee. And that comes out that you don't have to pay that. It's just coming out of a rev share payment. Okay. Any other questions around that? Okay. So this is what I thought we would do. Typically in the past, I've gone over, like Ashley said, like the 8 ways to earn income. I don't want to get into a full presentation. I think that might get boring for a lot of you guys on here. But is there anything specific around rev share? Because that's really where I see, or the fee structure. Anything you have questions on, like Gary got clarity on that fee. Is there any fees that you have questions on or anything about the rev share that you need further explanation on?
I had a clarifying question for the fees. So I know that I believe it was February. I can't remember which fee it was that went up. It was like I'm drawing a blank. Does anyone remember what that fee was that went up in February?
Yeah, that was just in with real, the 249.
Okay, there was another one, I think, but basically my question was, a lot of our team signed up in March. Sorry, this is not like a very concise question, but basically, is it their next anniversary year where that fee will go up? I think maybe it was a transaction fee or for the first year or something like that.
Yeah, there were several fees that went up as of January. and or they were announced in January, and by February, they were all in full effect. So your March people should have never seen a difference. They should have only seen the higher. So Gary's right. The sign-up fee went from $149 to $249. So that was one fee. And that's a one and done fee that when you sign up. The transaction fee is now $285. And I believe Gary's my number guy, I can tell on here, but I think it was $195 maybe. I can't remember now. I try to forget those things so I can just remember the new.
I think it was $250 before per transaction. Right?
Okay. Yeah, maybe.
Well, I think that's only
y'all
the
tell me.
first, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's the first two,
I think
No,
it's the first
so-
three, Sherry.
first three.
Sherry, what
First
you're
three,
talking
it's
about is
250,
the
yeah.
broker fee.
Oh,
And
the
that
broker fee.
went from that broker fee, God, what did it go to? It went to $750.
It was 500 before, so 500 to 750 paid out
That's
for
right.
the
Okay.
It
transactions.
was
Yeah.
500 and it came out of your first three transactions. Now it's 750 and it comes out of your same first three transactions. It's just a higher number that comes out at each one. So that is a fee that went up. It went from 500 to 750. That broker fee includes your E&O and some other fees and insurances as well.
No, I think
And then
that.
what was
that's
added
clear.
was the $30 BOP fee, which is a broker E&O and processing, kind of fee.
Yeah.
That never goes away. So that $30 remains constant on the transaction. The $285 only goes into play, guys, after you cap.
Mhm.
So until you cap, you're not paying a fee. So just for clarity, I think it's a good time just to reiterate this. As you join the company, you pay the $249. Then you don't have any other fees assessed until you do that first closing, which then we're going to take $250 on the first closing, right? And then $250 on the second closing, and then $250 on the third. And that satisfies your E&O or your broker fee. Right.
Yeah, annual brokerage fee.
Right. And then your $30, but then that's done. Then on your fourth transaction, that does not come out. Right. And then when you cap, you're paying 15%. You got the 85-15. You're paying the 15% until you get to that 12K cap or your 6K cap or your 4K cap. And then you go into the 285 transaction fee or the 175 lease transaction. So if you do a lease, it's a little bit less. So that's the big changes on the fees. And Ashley, your guys that joined in March should not have seen a change in that. And we kind of gave a ramp up period for those who had been paying before. I think they announced it in January, and then we gave it like a 3 or 2 month period before it, fully rolled out. Any questions on the fees?
Let's
Kind
just get
of.
this straight. Just get this straight. So if we cap, right, the only fees that we're going to have after we cap is the 285 transaction fee plus the $30 E&O, correct?
That is correct.
Right.
As far as real goes. So like with you guys, we've got, the brand side, like whatever your agreement is with Siri and those guys, and then you've got the real side. So this represents the real side. But Deanna, that's exactly right. Like once you cap, you're just paying the 285 plus the $30.
I have a question, and hopefully I've been saying this right, is when it talks about like when you're paying for the cap, it's 15%. So I give an example, and I thought I heard Sharon say it this way. If the commission was $10,000, you would be paying $1,500 towards your cap. Is that math right?
Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense to me, but I don't know if there's something. I thought somewhere else I read it was something different. I was like, it got me confused, but I thought I heard him say that once in one of his like reels or something like that.
Yeah, no, I just did the math. Yeah, if you let's say you've got a $10,000 closing. Now it gets a little different if it's like a Zillow lead and some different things are going on with the team. The splits come out differently, right? They satisfy the Zillow part and some other part, and then it goes down. So you wouldn't be paying the full 15%. But let's just say it was clean and dry at $10,000 commission.
And that's SOI or Realtor.com or something where you're not paying another split. Yeah,
that's
like SOI.
right.
Yeah, so okay.
That's it. So you're exactly right, Gary.
Okay,
if it's a cut and clean, here's a $10,000 commission. Real's going to take 15 until you cap, and then they're going to take the balance. And then at that point, you would get the full 10. Like, let's just say all your commissions were 10,000, you know,
Yep.
you put the 1,500, so you get to 12,000, then it's 100% minus the fee.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And it does, it gets a little different when there's a Zillow or a different commission that has to be paid out or a split. That all gets paid out. And like for you guys, the team split comes out, and then when it's all shook out, like all the fees are out and what you're left with, that's what you split with the company.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the percentage is less, but it's going to take you a little bit more to get to your cap. Does that piece make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. All right. Any other questions on transactions or transaction fees?
Something else I just wanted to add really quick. This will be
Yeah.
applicable for members of the Brand Realty team. We're actually working on a commissions example sheet where it'll have an example for if you're on the 12K versus the 4K. It'll have an example for Zillow, SOI, just kind of like as many different scenarios as we can get for you. And it'll include your 15% split with real or pre, and we even have examples of pre and post caps. So those differences in fees. So it's not finalized yet. I think we're hoping to have it on Hey Siri once it is finalized and kind of reviewed, but that's a resource that we're working on for you guys. We know it can be a little bit confusing sometimes. So we will announce that when it's ready, but Brand Realty team members, we are working on a commissions example sheet for you.
Ashley, that's awesome because it's so funny because when I was first talking to Siri about coming over, this was one of her questions and she sent me this big example. She was like, so let's say we've got this, this, and this, and this, and I have it saved in my phone because I sent that to Sheila Dunnigan and got it approved. She's like, that's exactly it. And so I've always kept this as kind of a cheat sheet in my notes. I'm looking at it right now, but it's that original note that Siri sent me. So super helpful because it does shake out differently. It like, does that come off of here before this comes off? So I think that's super helpful. Cool.
And then something else, I don't know if we can venture into attracting a little bit.
Sure.
But I just wanted to mention for attracting, you can bring people into your downline from out of state. They might not be on the Brand Realty team, but just because they're not on the Brand Realty team doesn't mean they can't be in your downline. So like Reagan was saying earlier, you know, now is the time because there's a lot of momentum that's been built and there's a lot of big teams that are moving over to Real. If you know someone from out of state or your friend from college just got licensed somewhere else or wherever, like you can really tap into that. They don't need to be local to California or Carlsbad or wherever.
No, absolutely, Ashley. Like, so that's the beauty of Real. We can attract outside our area, outside our state, outside our country. I mean, if you know someone in Canada, but, you know, a good example, I know there's some people on the team that have a Texas connection, right? So I know Renee's from Dallas and, you know, like I know she knows realtors in Dallas, right? I'll use her as an example. So absolutely tap into those relationships because how we can benefit them in another state is equal how we can benefit them in California. Now, here's what's beautiful. Let's just say this is, we can now co-share, right? Co-sponsor agents. So think about this. Let's say, and Renee's not on the call, is she? But like if you know someone in Texas, we'll just use that as an example, and they're not, you know, but you're not here. You're in California. I really would love to have someone in Texas. Well, then we find an agent in Texas that wants to co-sponsor with you. They get the best of all worlds. We all get the best of all worlds. You get a half sponsorship and they get support in California. So what that would look like, guys, is that when you co-sponsor, it's a 50-50 split in your rev share tree. So it'll show up as a half person in your rev share. So if you need like the 10th person to open your second line or your second tier, you'd only have a half. So you need another half to get to that other hole to open you, but halves are still good. And then the commission split works 45 and 45 and the company takes 10 or 10. Yeah, they take 10. I was thinking it was 5, but they take 10 for the management of that commission split. But it's a great way to venture out. And you don't have to co-sponsor on an out-of-stater. That's just if they feel more comfortable that way. All right. Does that make sense, everyone? But that is so true. And guys, in the conversation of attraction, if you've got an agent that's multi-licensed, like California and say Nevada or Arizona or New Mexico, you see a lot of overlap in those states with licensee. It's great. They work under one cap. So I could be licensed in California and in Nevada. And if I close a deal in Nevada and in California, those both work toward one common cap. So that's what's really cool about Real too.
That's pretty awesome. I didn't know.
Yeah. So any questions around that in attraction and anything related to attraction? I've got some questions in the chat we'll address here in just a minute, but. Okay. So Ellie is asking about agent attraction. What's your pitch? What's my pitch? My approach is I think of attraction as a relationship and a relationship builder. So guys, don't think of it as number one, the nasty word recruiting. We don't want to that always feels not so good to people. So attraction. And what does attraction mean? That means people are drawn to you. And we're just simply in a relationship business. So just get into relationship. It may take some warming up. People look for the one and done. They look for, I'm going to call Ashley and she's going to say yes, and we're done. And sometimes it happens that way, but sometimes it's going to take me calling and just saying, hey, what's up? How you doing? I just was thinking about you, and that's the relational piece that we're just getting into rapport with people that we either maybe we know of them and maybe we're getting to know them better. But back to Ellie and the pitch. So if I had to label it a pitch, I like to go in, well, number one, I like to know what's important to that agent. So I'm going to ask questions, and I may just simply ask, what's important to you with your current brokerage? And they may say, oh my God, the split's amazing. They may say, I love the people that I work with. And be really careful to listen, because that's what you want to respond with. Because what you don't want to do is get all real excited about the rev share at Real when they don't care anything about it. And there are agents out there that don't really care about the attraction piece. They don't care about they just want to know, what's it going to cost me? What's the cap? So when they say, oh, my cap is amazing at my current brokerage, I'll be like, my next question was, if you don't mind me asking, what does that look like for you? They'll usually tell you, and then you can have the opportunity to roll into, God, you know what I love about Real? Our cap is 12,000 for everyone. And then we go to 100%, and you can have that conversation, but find out what's important to them. But I will tell you this, the thing I hear the most, and the thing I often lead with the most, if I had to say a pitch, is I talk about our culture. And I talk about the collaborative community that we've created with Real. That is the piece that will resonate, that I have found resonates universally across the board, because I get asked this the most. What are the differences between EXP and Real? And that is the main thing I get. I'll just be really honest. I know people get weird about even saying the other brokerages' names, but we'll say it here. And I say, look, I came from EXP. I was there for 3 years. The biggest difference is our culture. And I go deep on that. And I do believe that. I mean, this isn't something I'm just saying. Our culture and our collaborative community is second to none. There's no other brokerages out here that has I'll use Siri as an example. You got Siri on the West Coast sharing nationwide, to our community. And then we got big heavy hitters in New York doing the same this way, and everything in between, creating this network. They're sharing their secret sauce. This collaborative nature, like we know what's going on in LA, we know what's going on in New York, and we know what's going on in Dallas, and everything in between. And that helps us create the mosaic that is real. And I think that's so powerful because that's not the norm. I mean, if any of you have been in, I mean, I know we've probably all been in other brokerages, or maybe you haven't. It's not the norm. It's not the norm for people to help, like a Siri level person to pour into a community. It's really not as common as you might think. Okay, and as I say her name, all my devices are lighting up. I learned that the hard way too when I first talked to her. My audio's going off in the house, my iPad, everything's bleeping. So anyway, Ellie, does that help answer your question?
Yeah, that definitely helped. Thank you so much.
Yeah, just Ellie, listen to what they need. Ask them what's important. Ask them what they're missing. What is lacking in your current broker? And we're not there to beat them up, and we're not there to beat up Keller Williams. We're not there to beat up Compass. Just simply ask, hey, what's lacking for you at your current brokerage? And honestly, this is where community, collaboration, and support always seem to come up. And boy, you can hit them hard with that because we have the chops to back that up. Guys, you don't even have to make this up. You don't even have to like over exaggerate it. Like what we offer from technology to collaboration to our community is so solid, it sells itself. So just keep that in mind. We never, ever want to disparage another brokerage. That should never be your approach. Just go hard and heavy on the benefits of real. Okay. So Jacqueline asked, do we have a training video on how to read everything in Reason? Or is that something that we can discuss now? Okay, or in the near future? Yeah. So all things Reason, guys, have all of you taken the, it's called SOAR with Gina Bothwell? They do it every Monday. She goes through a full learning of Reason and all the platform pieces like Workplace and everything else. If you haven't taken that course, that's going to be the course you want to take. And as far as that, I don't believe there is a secondary Reason exclusive kind of course. And if anyone knows of that, Ashley, if you know of that, please correct me. I just don't think there is. I think Gina's doing the only class.
I don't know of that, but is that something which I was going to mention? So this is the perfect opportunity. That's something offered through Workplace, right? Or where can we find that training?
Okay, so Gina, I would reach out to Gina direct on direct message, and it's I don't want to get her last name wrong. Gina Bothwell. It's Bothwell. She's the agent success manager. So just DM her on Workplace, and I'm gonna segue this. Is there anyone here that's not on Workplace? Okay, you got to be on Workplace, guys. This is where we communicate. This is where the community is. This is where the academies host. If you don't know about the academy, guys, this is where we host. You know, Siri teaches on there. I teach on there. That's where you're going to get lessons from all over the country. I mean, you got some heavy hitters pouring into us. So we really want to take advantage of that. We teach live 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. All of it's recorded and housed and organized. So like if you need something on attraction, you can go to 8 Ways to Earn Income. You can go to the Real Laws of Attraction. I teach both of those classes. You want a listing presentation, you go check out someone else. YouTube, someone else. Siri teaches a Teams Gone Wild. So like if you want to know all things about teams, that's where you go. So there's all kind of opportunities there. So if you're not on Workplace, my goodness, you're missing out. You're missing out on a big piece of that. We have a California state group on Workplace. That's where Jason Lopez, our broker of record, is communicating things. We have a state meeting every Wednesday at 11 o'clock Pacific every week. Jason is amazing. If you guys don't know Jason, he is a rock star broker. He pours into us every week. Contract updates, everything that we need to know to keep us in, safe and out of trouble. Get on that call. But anyway, I went on a little tirade on that, but it's a Workplace that you can get on direct message and direct message Gina. I think that class is on Mondays, and I think she does it every Monday, but I think you have to go through her to get signed up.
Okay. And for those of you
Mhm.
who maybe have not signed up with Workplace, I would reach out to, again, support@therealbrokerage.com. Anything real related, I unfortunately will not be able to really help you with. If you come to me, I'm going to tell you to email support@therealbrokerage.com. So Workplace is a real brokerage provided system. So you'd have to reach out to them if you're having trouble. I will say this though, a lot of people get confused with the login. The login email is going to be your real email, which you can find in your resident account. But for me, if I were to sign into Workplace, my email would be ashley.wanschneider. So first name dot last name @joinreal.com. And then whatever password you set up. Now, if I remember correctly, that email will forward to the email that you provided in your resident account. I might be wrong about that, but I feel like when we were onboarding, that was at least the case at the time. But sign into Workplace with your Join Real email, which is first name dot last name @joinreal.com, and you should be able to get in.
That is correct, Ashley. And that Join Real email is strictly given to you for that purpose. Once that's done, that email doesn't even forward anymore. Like, so you do not want to use that email. It used to forward, Ashley, like it would, if you sent me an email on that, it would forward to my whatever email I had attached to that. But now they're not using it even as a forward email. So you don't want to use that. So you don't get a company email, right? You're not going to get like Reagan@therealbrokerage.com, which I actually have that email, but the general agent population, you use your own personal email. So Ashley is correct. Just use that to get signed in, and then that kind of just sits like behind the scenes. Any questions on Workplace or on Reason? And that's changing by the moment. Pratesh is killing it on that. I mean, that's just getting better and better and better. Does everyone have that downloaded, the app downloaded on their phone? Any questions on that? Okay.
I just wanted to add another comment on that. If you, of course, it's helpful to have like a how-to video, and I would definitely recommend like reaching out, and I can put that in Slack after. But I find sometimes the best way to learn is to just get in there and start pushing buttons. Get in there and just start exploring. I think you might be surprised at how much you might learn, or a new feature that might have just been added that you weren't aware of. So it's actually pretty user-friendly to use. It's a little bit of a different experience on the computer versus on the app. But get in there, poke around, see what you can do in there. And then I think a great additional resource would be reaching out to Gina. And I will, again, after this training, I'll put her name in Slack. So just wanted to mention that.
Cool. Yeah, it's they're adding stuff. Gosh, it almost feels like weekly, but guys, just an overview. You can track your rev share tree, how much money, how much rev share you have built up, who's unlocked, who's not unlocked, what agents are producing, what agents are not. Within your your tree, it'll track your transactions. I mean, you can literally do a transaction. You can open a transaction and complete a transaction on the app. So it's very robust. That's the whole idea with the technology, is that it keeps us very mobile. It keeps us very fresh as far as technology and what we're able to do and what experience we're able to create for our clients. And since we last talked, we've activated the e-sign platform. So you can do that, the e-signature, that's in the app. SkySlope is no more. That's all integrated into the Reason. So they're constantly updating and making everything really communicate with each other. So tap into that. And Ashley's right. Just go play around with it. Get familiar with it, and then ask questions, and we have support for that as well. All right. Okay. Any questions thus far? Okay, so I'm just reviewing the 8 Ways deck. Guys, they're in marketing. Let's talk about marketing for a minute. Within Workplace, we've got a marketing center that has everything that you're going to need to talk about Real. We've got a general info deck that talks about the company, and then we've got the 8 Ways to Earn Income that shows everything you need to know, like step by step. It's a great way to talk to agents in an attraction, or if you need to know personally. So it's a great kind of cheat sheet, that you can go through and just go through the deck. You can send it, you can share it. You can find that in marketing. If you go to Workplace, type in Marketing Center, that'll pull up and it'll be in the pinned areas. You can pull that off, and that is a live living link that updates. So when there's new information, like I shared the capping and attraction at the top of the call, that'll be corrected, that'll be updated as you click on the link. But I would keep that copied in your notes on your phone, and that way you can send it to people. Like maybe you've got a closing with an agent that you really like, and you're like, hey, would you like to know more about Real? You can send that out to them. So it's a great resource. Within marketing, we've got marketing pieces, whether it's for a listing presentation, buyer's presentation, yard signs, whatever that looks like, cards, all of that's there. You get a subscription to Breakthrough Broker, which has immense amount of marketing material. So guys, if you're not tapped into that, check that out. You can access all of that through marketing. So there's a lot of resources, and then you can manipulate. It's all changeable. It's all, you can customize it. So if you want to put your brand pieces on there, you can do that as well. So that's another important piece that you don't want to be missing out on within Workplace. So you've got the academy, you've got marketing, and you've got your ability to communicate with any agent within the company, which is huge. So guys, if you've got a referral, there's a referral page. You list your referrals, you can swap things. I mean, that's been huge for people, for agents nationwide, where, people are now maneuvering and can work from anywhere in the country. So that's a good relationship builder as well. So, all right. We got about 10 more minutes. Any questions, any concerns, anything y'all want to cover? Ashley, anything else you want to?
Yeah. Something I wanted to just plug really quickly. Who's going to the Rise conference in October? Who has their ticket? Okay. Only like 3 or 4 of us. That's okay, because I just checked and there are still tickets left, but it will sell out. So I would highly, and the good news is it's here in San Diego. I think it's at is it at the Hyatt or the Marriott? I forget, but I've been there and it's
right
awesome.
there. Yeah, it's a beautiful
I
hotel.
went to an event there. It is beautiful.
Yep.
So really take advantage of this. I would really encourage you to do so, especially because it's in our backyard. And so that's going to be October 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. You can go to onerealrise.com. I'll put the link in the chat here. Scroll down to the bottom and you can purchase your ticket. I would do that sooner rather than later before they sell out. And I know we're still August. I mean, we're still 3 months out. I don't know, Reagan, if you're very involved in the planning or if you know what's to come, but if you can share anything, do you have any sneak peeks for us maybe?
I really don't. Marketing has held it really tight to the vest, but I do know, like, they've announced that the last night party is going to be I don't know, what did they say, Ashley? It's like I don't know, a neon.
The future looks bright at the Rise 2023. It's going to be at the Park Nightclub in San Diego. That'll be fun. Neon.
Yes. Neon, yes.
Is the theme.
So I kind of feel like it's going to be an 80s vibe. Like, I just kind of feel that kind of coming on. They have not announced our keynote speaker. They've not announced the schedule as far as the breakout sessions and things, but we know it's going to be amazing. Ryan Serhan was our keynote last year in San Antonio. So I fully anticipate that we're going to have someone amazing. And we have the opportunity for this to be in our backyard. I mean, it's kind of in my backyard in Dana Point, but it's really in you guys' backyard. I mean, like, it's right there. So as far as expense, it's just the expense of, you can commute back and forth. You don't even have to stay at the hotel. So, but it's going to be really, really value packed. And it's a great way to get to meet other agents and build relationships and create networking opportunities nationwide. So I highly encourage it. So Ashley, thank you for bringing that up, because it's going to be really good. I mean, if you didn't go to the San Antonio, that was our first one and it was really amazing. So
Siri came home and she was emotional. Like, she was actually emotional because it just resonated with her so much and she loved it. And I think there's no reason that this year won't be just as impactful, if not more impactful. So
I agree. And, and I'm biased to Southern California, but like, I mean, I think just the fact that it's in San Diego, I mean, right. It's just going to be, I think that's just going to be 10 better than, San Antonio. San Antonio's fine. It was hot though. I'm just not about the heat. So I think we're going to have a great location. It's in a beautiful hotel. And I think the content and the value is going to be there. And so you can meet Tamir and, Pratesh and Sharon and all these guys, all our executives. So it's a great way to get plugged in, get connected. And really, I love the idea of building network, building your connections with your networking. So good opportunity. Okay. Let's see. Wendy posted, I went to the One Real last year in San Antonio. It was excellent. More than 800 real people were there. The vibe was great. Good place to network and learned a lot from the speakers. Thank you for that testimonial, Wendy. Yeah. I don't, Ashley, have you heard? I have not really heard how many tickets they're going to do, but it's going to be well more than 800. I mean,
I think so. I mean, it sold out. The early bird tickets sold out so fast. And then just I'm anticipating more than 800 because Real's also grown a lot since then.
Well,
Exactly.
So-
That was my thought too. I mean, that was last year when we had like 4,000 agents in the
Yeah.
country, and now we're up to like 10, 12, something like that, 1,000.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you this, they did it in San Antonio because we had the most agents there, like in the South Texas area. We have now exceeded Texas. We are now well ahead of Texas. Yes. And that was my goal. I mean, I grew up in Texas, so I love Texas, but you know what? I got my California peeps now, like this, we got to make it happen. So I'm excited. I think just the fact that we have such a presence in Southern California, I think we're going to well exceed that attendance record. Because my goodness, we have, that many just in our area. So I think we'll have a good attendance and it's going to be great. But thank you, Wendy, for sharing that.
Oh yeah, no, it was fabulous. I'm definitely going to be there this year too.
Excellent. Look forward to seeing you in person. I feel like I
again.
get to see everyone in person, but there's nothing like, giving a hug, right?
Absolutely. I'll take one of your hugs.
You're awesome. Thank you. Cool. All right, guys, we got about 5 minutes. Ashley, you got anything else?
Not that I can think of. Does anyone else have any questions before we wrap up? No?
Cool.
Okay. There might be, as people watch the recording, there might be more questions and I can help connect them with you if needed.
Absolutely. I was going to say, please don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything. I'm always typically on the Wednesday call for the state call. So if you ever want to grab me, if you happen to be around, it's a dual purpose. You can jump on, I speak for a little bit, and then we can ask any attraction questions or reach out to me. You can do that through Workplace. Find me on the direct message. I'm happy to help.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Reagan. We always
love being with you guys.
Yeah, we love hanging out with you too. And we will see you in October for sure.
Yes, for sure.
And yeah, so until then, thank you so much. All right.
See you
Thanks,
guys.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.